Right,
So,
starting now.
mhm.
All right, hi everyone. We have a little special surprise for you today because this is not just a boring blog post, but we actually invited Corey on. Corey is not only my boss, he's also the founder and CEO of Mighty Paw. And today he's going to talk a little bit about what actually made Mighty Paw, the very first product that he designed and launched, which is the Hands-Free Bungee Leash Set. So Corey, if you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit and answering my questions that are about to come. So
Yeah,
let's start with the
totally.
first one.
Sure, sure.
So what exactly was the inspiration behind the design of the hands-free bungee leash set? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. And such a good idea to do this. So appreciate you coming up with the idea, and hopefully it'll be fun for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the inspiration was really our own problem. My wife and our dog Barley. My wife was training for a marathon at the time, and obviously we would like to involve our dog in as much activity and exercise as we can. And um, she would hold our leash and run with the dog, and she just kept having this neck cramp, and then she'd always ask me to rub her neck, and it was just like this whole family dynamic that would happen. And so we just thought there had to be a better way, and so we did our due diligence and looked out there, and there were some uh, other options out there. Barley at the time was around 55 pounds, and the current ones that we were able to get were I guess they just weren't meant for bigger dogs. So we're just like, there's got to be something better out there. So we naturally just started thinking about what we could do. And um, there's always like a little luck in the startup companies where we just honestly tripped over and was able to find a great manufacturer and someone that was an expert in fabrics and webbing and had access to great bungee material. Um, so yeah, they just helped connect the dots for us. And I can remember just on like a paper, I was just drawing my idea as far as what it would look like. And really that we were the first ones to have a bungee hands-free leash that was meant for bigger dogs. So we use a thicker bungee. So you'll notice when you use it, if you try to extend it, it's really tough to extend out to the longest length. So even a big, powerful 90-pound dogs, like they would struggle to extend the bungee all the way to its max. Um, so yeah, that was the inspiration, and just made it a lot more comfortable for both my wife and dog to run and do all kinds of fun activities.
Yeah, that was the bungee feature was a very smart idea indeed. I can attest to that. Although I myself am not a runner, but I'm going to cover that question here in a little bit. But first, let's talk about or is there anything that qualifies you per se from your professional background to design this leash, or did you just follow some sort of gut instinct?
Yeah. I don't know about as far as the production side, if anything qualifies me, but my background is I was a physical therapist. So I got my doctorate in physical therapy from a school in Syracuse called Upstate Medical. And so it's very much in tune with biomechanics and anatomy and the exercise part of, I guess, the utility of this product. And, it just made sense if you're trying to hold your arm in one spot and try to run, your body mechanics are thrown off. And it's just
Sure.
natural that if you can have a normal arm swing and still be able to control your dog and run, it's a better scenario. So we took just the approach of biomechanically, what's the best way to run with your dog, and then kind of reversed it from there. So I think the functional side of it, yes, I have the qualifications, but as far as the actual production and manufacturing of it, I needed to work with people that were professionals in that space. And as I mentioned in the previous question, like just got really lucky to connect with an awesome manufacturer that could just bring our vision to life.
Yeah. So it was a little bit of luck and a little bit of, well, wisdom to professional wisdom, I guess,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
your
totally. Because I mean, when you have the idea and to bring it to life, it's to find the right materials and the right quality materials and be able to make sure that because the way the bungee leash is made, it's a tubular webbing, and then there's a bungee inside of it, and then it's just really there's like the cross stitching that makes it super strong, so that the bungee will stay attached to the webbing. And without any experience in manufacturing, you wouldn't know how to make that the right way and strong and safe for dogs. So having that experience and then learning about how to test it to make sure that it's actually safe and functional and it's not gonna break or snap, like working with the right people to make sure that happens is really cool. And The testing process is really fun to watch. They actually have a hook at the top and then a hook at the bottom, and the machine just naturally pulls, and then there's a force rating that happens, and
Yeah.
they're like, holy cow, this thing's strong, and you don't have any questions of like, are 100-pound dog using this thing? Because if a machine that strong can't snap it, then 100-pound dog definitely can't.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
Yeah.
So how long exactly did that whole process take? The whole designing, testing it, launching it.
Yeah, good question. I mean, it was interesting because this was the whole start of Mighty Paw. So it was setting up the LLC and working through all the details of the legality of how to start a business and going through all that process. So that was more time consuming than the actual, I think, production and finding it all. Because I mean, the materials are not hard to source once we had the design. But I would say start to finish, it was probably a 4-month process. Getting the design, getting some samples back and forth, testing it, making sure it was ready, and we had to create our logo and do all kinds of stuff along those lines. Where it there was a lot that went into it all, and make a website, and it's cool to see where we started with our logo and website to kind of where we are now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So 4 months is that? I mean, that's a fairly short process when you think about all the different, some sort of hurdles, I guess, that you overcame, which was actually going to be my next question. Were there any particular hurdles that you had to overcome in that process? Maybe besides the creation of the LLC and the website?
Yeah, not a ton of big roadblocks and all that. I mean, the logistics is really what took the hard, I guess, the amount of time of like, how do you actually sell things online? What does it mean to collect sales tax? And all those hurdles are, were the really hard ones. But
Fun
and the
admin.
Product was, what's that?
The fun admin part.
The fun admin part, for sure. Yep. In quotations, for sure. We just got lucky. It's a good product. So it didn't have a lot of things or issues or weak points that would need to be fixed. It was good. We did do a couple iterations, and I think the one main change we had was we wanted to use a thicker webbing, which if you compare our hands-free leash to the other ones that are out there on the market, you'll instantly feel that our webbing is thicker, and we don't want to shortcut that. We want to make sure that it's durable and it works the best we can. And having that extra webbing and thickness and weight to it is just a better quality experience for everybody.
Awesome. So how exactly, so it's obvious that as humans, we profit from, the bungee feature and experiencing less stress on our entire body, essentially. But does the dog also profit from that experience?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a comfort thing for both parties, for both the owners and the dog. And mostly for the dog, it's the comfort of having that shock absorption ability of the bungee, where if you're running or you're hiking and you need to grab control of your dog, just be able to pull on that bungee and give them the more subtle cue, like, all right, it's time to stop and heel or move. It's just a comfort thing on that level. But there's also an interesting feedback that happens with the bungee that is the dog has to learn, because it's a little different than a typical leash, or a standard 6-foot webbing leash or anything like that. But once your dog is trained to walk with decent manners, and it's a really easy transition. And we knew that there would be a transition, and some dogs like to lead and they're just always going to be walking out front, and some dogs are really well mannered and they walk right at your side. So that was the inspiration to create a longer. So we actually have 4 variations of the hands-free leash, if you guys haven't seen, where we have 2 colors, so a gray and green version and a black version. But we also have a 3-foot version and a 4-foot version. So if you have that dog that just always is going to walk out in front of you, you'll want the 4-foot version. If not, you'll just always be walking right at the heels of the dog, and you'll feel like you need shorter strides, and you might actually step on the dog's foot, which is never fun. So, but I'm 6'5". So if you're tall, the 3-foot just never is going to be probably an easy experience for you. So our recommendation is if you're very tall or your dog is a leader, then probably the 4-foot is the best product for you. But if your dog is really well mannered, or you prefer your dog walking at your side instead of out front, the 3-foot is probably great.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Good to know. Um, so speaking of running, you all already briefly mentioned it because you just said that you could also use it to hike with your dog, or you spoke of hiking in the previous question. The next question was going to be about whether or not you can actually use it for something other than running with your dog.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I mean, some of the things we haven't even had ideas about, where we've had the coolest pictures from folks that do like cross country skiing. Like they'll reach out and they, can I get an extra bungee? So they got the belt and then two bungees split off, and she's
That's
skiing, and
cool.
both their dogs are attached at the same time. Um, but definitely, just like anything you want to do active and sort of have your hands available. I mean, I love just being able to pop Barley on the leash, and I can have my coffee in one hand and my phone in the other. If I got to take a quick call, and it's just it's just nice to have. It's a convenience for us, and yeah, I mean, you can do anything. Hiking is I think probably the most convenient one, where you just pop your dog on, and if you have any type of rough terrain, it's nice to have your hands free if you slip or anything like that, and certainly the running stuff.
Yeah. So I will say, obviously, I do work for Mighty Paw too now, and I have used, well, I am still actively using the Hands-Free Bungee Leash Set, except not for running because I'm not that crazy about running. But I love to walk, and I'll do a lot of hiking with my dog Wally, and I just love the that experience of being able to walk with you know with my hands free, essentially being able to grab my phone, take a
Yeah,
little video or a picture of our walk or something else, or just, the experience of not having to hold a leash is one that I've really come to like a lot. So thank
yeah.
you for developing that product. I love it
Sure.
a lot.
Absolutely.
Can
Absolutely.
you tell us how many, or do you have a ballpark of how many hands-free leash sets you've sold over the years? Because
Yeah,
it's
that's a
been
great question. Yeah. Um, I don't know the exact number, but it's got to be it's got to be close to 40 to 50,000 units at this point.
wow,
Yeah, which is crazy to think about. And
it is.
there's a lot of dogs out there that are getting to experience a lot of fun things because of the leash. So that's what makes us most proud.
Yep, I bet that's awesome. And has the well, I already know the answer to that, but I'm sure that our audience would love to hear it too.
Yeah.
Has the, or what kind of other products has that bungee feature inspired? Because there are a lot of other products in the market now from Mighty Paw.
Yeah. It's been a cool inspiration. It almost led us down the path of because our current hands-free leash, it has an extra handle on it. I don't know if you
Mm.
guys have seen that, but it has a handle that we typically recommend go lower to the dog. So if you need more control, you can easily grab it and then pull your dog to the side, or just have your dog sit while another dog passes, or whatever. So it just prompted the idea of control when you need it. That's the term we use for the marketing message, and it's ended just being a really nice feature that we used a ton personally, and our customers really appreciated. So um, that gave us the idea to go into like our traffic handle leashes. So we have a 10-inch and an 18-inch short leash. Again, just when you need control, you just need to grab that handle, and you have that control. We have a few different versions of a two-handle leash. So there's 6 foot, we call them handle X2s. We have the long leash, and then you can grab one that's 18 to 24 inches away from the dog's collar. Um, but the most obvious one is we have a standard, it's a dual handle bungee leash. So it's another bungee version, also known as like a tactical leash a lot of times. So we have a canvas version, and then our typical gray and blacks. Um, but again, just a comfort leash, where most, if not all of our leashes have a padded handle. So you get the comfort of that, and then your dog gets the comfort of that bungee, that absorbing all the shock if he's pulling or you have to stop quick. Um, so yeah, it just takes a lot of that extra jolt and jarring out of everybody's joints, your dog's neck and your shoulder and elbow and wrist. So
It certainly does. I personally appreciate it. I use it a lot, first of all, on my walks and hikes, and I appreciate it a lot just because it absorbs while he's pulling whenever he sees a squirrel or a cat. Those are his two big triggers.
yeah,
He's usually fairly well behaved on leash, except for those instances. So that's why I like it a lot and use it a lot almost every day. So
awesome.
appreciate that.
Great.
So
Great.
Thank you for telling us so much about the hands-free bungee leash set. Are there any other new product launches at Mighty Paw that you might be able to tell us about? Or is
We
everything?
have we have we have a lot of exciting things happening, and this is 2020 was a tough year for all of us, and
Yep.
we're excited that 2021 is looking up a little bit, and we hope things can start to have some resemblance of normalcy soon. And we're just back in the full-fledged product development mode, and we have a lot of cool new product lines that you haven't seen from us before. We're definitely known for our training gear and our leashes and harnesses and collars, but we haven't done a lot in the consumable space. So we're really excited about a limited ingredient natural line that is coming out very soon, and also getting more into the family oriented, the everyday stuff, bowls and splash mats and things like that, where there's other products out there, but at Mighty Paw, we like to make things just a little bit better and market it a little differently. So you have just that extra feature that was missing before, won't be missing in ours. So yeah, stay tuned. We have a lot of really cool things in this next quarter coming up, Q2, and definitely always sourcing new products. So on that note, if you have any other feedback on new products, please let us know. You can reach us, team@mightypaw.com is our general inbox. So send any product ideas or requests. We'd love to hear from you guys. And again, always trying to make things better and new products. So that'd be really cool.
That is a great ending statement. Thank you for that. Lots of exciting things happening here at the moment for sure. So stay tuned, everyone. If you want to sign up to stay in the loop about our blog posts, you could do that. Just at the end of this blog post, you can click on sign up here, and you won't miss any new blog posts that are coming out. Corey, thank you for enlightening us and giving us a little bit of a backstory about your very first product. That was really interesting to hear about.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'll send you a couple pictures of our original logo too. I think that would be cool to put in the blog post, and all the viewers and readers can see the original Mighty Paw logo and where we started. And you'll see we had a little mountain background that made a paw, and that was specifically designed for the bungee leash. And it wasn't meant to be a full brand initially. We just trying to solve our problem. And when you have something good, then people want other things around it. So we came up with our collars and harnesses, and next thing you know, we're getting close to our 100th product line. So we're just continually growing and adding new things, and a lot of fun with it.
Very cool. Awesome. All right.
Well,
thank you for talking to us today, Corey, and we will see you soon.
Great. Bye.
Bye.